Hello everybody, this is Gary Hallican here, and this is going to be a classic toy review. Today we're going to be looking at some Super GoBots. Of course, the GoBots were the competing line of transforming robots to the Transformers in the early 80s. Of course, they weren't too much competition. The Transformers ended up being much more popular, but I think the GoBots don't get all the credit they deserve. There are a lot of really cool GoBots with really cool engineering and transformations, and these ones here are some of the best ones. These are the Super GoBots, much larger than the regular ones, a little more complicated, a little more posable, and pretty heavy on the die-cast metal content. All three I have here are from the first series of Super GoBots. They are all marked 1983. The ones I have are Bug Bite, who is, of course, a yellow Volkswagen Beetle, much like another famous 80s transforming robot. In fact, when I bought this, the person who sold it to me thought that it was Bumblebee, and I had to say, no, it's actually a Super GoBot. The second one I have here is Herr Fiend, who is a black Porsche. And the third one is called Psycho, and he's kind of the unique one in the bunch because he's not based on a real car, but is based on a car from a manga and anime series called Space Adventure Cobra. And as far as I know, the car from the Cobra series never actually transformed. So that makes that one just a little bit different. All three of these have some metal content, but unfortunately, Psycho has the least of all the metal. It's actually mostly plastic. His legs are going to be metal, but that's about it. But on the other two, on Bug Bite and Herr Fiend, the entire front of the car on each one is die-cast metal. So they're going to be pretty heavy. All of these transform in a similar fashion, and they all end up with kind of a unique and sort of strange robot mode. For each one of these, it's actually the passenger compartment of the car that is going to end up being the head of the robot mode, which makes you think that maybe these aren't necessarily sentient robots like the Transformers are, but maybe these are more like mobile suits to be piloted by their drivers. And to lend some credence to that theory, each one of these cars actually does have a little chrome driver. It's a little hard to see the driver on Bug Bite, but he is in there. You'll notice this is actually a right-hand drive Volkswagen, so it's not like one that would be sold in the United States. So that's kind of interesting. Here on Herr Fiend, you can see the chrome driver in there. And Psycho actually has two people in the cockpit. We've got the chrome driver and then a red passenger. So we're going to transform all of these into their robot modes one at a time and see what they look like. So first up is Bug Bite. Let's start by gripping the back wheels here, and we're going to kind of pull them down and swing them all the way forward to the front. Those are going to be his legs. You can fold out his feet just like that. So those are going to be his feet. Turn him back around here and flip out the arms. Just like that. And then we're going to take the whole top of the car and kind of pull backwards on it. It's going to split. The back of the car comes down like this, and the top of the car is going to clip into these clips right here. It's a little bit tricky to get it in there. Got to kind of swing it forward. There we go. And there we have Bug Bite in his robot mode. Let me swing the camera up so you can see him a little better. And there he is. So he's kind of a really unique looking robot mode. He doesn't have the blocky proportions that your regular Transformers usually have. It's a little more insectoid looking with that kind of non-head and these claw arms here. Of course, the die-cast front half of the car is going to become the robot chest. So that makes him a pretty heavy figure and really kind of a neat one too. As for articulation, it's pretty much only in the arms, but they've got pretty good articulation. The arms can go forward a little bit and back a little bit, can turn all the way around, and we've got really all the way bend at the elbow. It can bend all the way up and can even bend backwards 90 degrees too. Even though that's kind of strange, you might not want to do that. You could count the feet as articulation too, since they bend back that way, but that's mostly for transformation. So there is Bug Bite, our first Super GoBot. Next we will look at Herr Fiend. So Herr Fiend is going to have a pretty similar transformation to Bug Bite. We're going to start by flipping out his legs, pulling them out from the bottom, and then we can fold out his feet. And we'll fold down these pieces to become sort of his hips and thighs there, like that. Go up to the top and flip out his arms. And unlike Bug Bite, where we grabbed and pulled down on the back end of the car, we're going to pull down on the front end of the car with this one. So we kind of pull forward on that, unclip it, and as we do that, the top of the car is going to come with it and become the head. So we clip in like that, and there we have Herr Fiend in his robot mode. So as you can see, he looks about the same as Bug Bite. Is a little bit taller, but they have very, very similar design. They both have the front of the car as their chest. It's very similar feet and very similar arms, and of course the car cab area as their heads. So finally, let's look at Psycho. So again, Psycho is going to have a similar transformation to the rest of them. We'll fold out his legs first, which are pretty much the only metal parts on Psycho, unfortunately. Fold out the legs and fold out his feet. We'll go back up to the top and flip out the arms. And then just like on Herr Fiend, we'll take the top half of the car and fold it down. It's kind of tight, this one is, so it takes a little bit of messing with it there, but we'll get it folded down and clip into the front, and there we have Psycho in his robot mode. So again, it's kind of neat that these all end up looking very similar to each other, and they all have a very similar transformation, but it's just a little tiny bit different on each one, and I think that makes them really neat. When you put them together, you can see they definitely belong together, definitely look like they're from the same family. I forgot to mention the articulation on Herr Fiend. He's actually a little more articulated than Bug Bite because he can move each leg independently, and Bug Bite can't. The arms are going to be the same on Herr Fiend. Similarly with Psycho, he can move each leg independently a little bit. He's actually got knees, which the rest of them don't. And the arms are going to be the same on him as well. He doesn't have elbows though, but his claw can move up and down like that. So these are some pretty neat figures, and we're going to do some size comparisons next. So for size comparisons, here are the Super GoBots along with G1 Optimus Prime. So you can see he's just a little bit taller than them, not very much. They're almost exactly the same size. Here they are with a standard 12-ounce beverage can, so they're just a little bit taller than that. And of course, here they are with John Cena, so he's just a little bit taller than them as well. I'm going to put them back into car mode and put Optimus into truck mode, and we'll compare their sizes again. Okay, so now that we are back in car mode, here are the Super GoBots along with G1 Optimus Prime again. And I'd say they look pretty good with him. They're not really too far out of scale, and so they make a nice match together there. Here they are again with a standard 12-ounce beverage can, and of course again with John Cena. So in conclusion, I would say that I really highly recommend these toys. One of the main reasons that I recommend them is because since they are GoBots, they can be had for a lot cheaper than a lot of the G1 Transformers. But they're still going to offer you just as much die-cast transforming vehicle fun. So I would very much encourage you to get your hands on some Super GoBots. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this look at some classic toys. If you feel so inclined to do so, please like and subscribe. And as always, we will finish this review with some dramatic poses.